My dear friend, let's walk together through a journey of healing, divine truth, and unshakable worth, one that will cradle your wounded heart, restore your spirit, and anchor you in the certainty that you are deeply loved by God. I want to talk about those heartbreaking moments when you realize you've poured your love into people who only pretended to love you back. Maybe it was a friend who smiled to your face but vanished when you needed them. Or a partner who spoke sweet words but whose actions were hollow, leaving you empty. Perhaps it was someone you trusted, a family member, a colleague, who wore a mask of affection, only to reveal their indifference when it suited them. The pain of loving those who pretend to love you cuts like a betrayal, doesn't it? It can make you feel foolish, used, like your heart was a game to them, tempting you to shut down or question if real love will ever find you. But let me tell you right now, your love is not wasted and your heart is not a mistake. You love people who only pretended to love you because your heart is genuine, but their pretense doesn't diminish your worth. God sees your authentic love and He's calling you to shine in His purpose where your heart is truly cherished. I'm going to unpack why this happens, lean on Dr. Myles Munroe's wisdom about your God-given value, and show you how to live so vibrantly that you embrace your divine worth and invest your love where it's met with sincerity. Picture this for a moment. You're not the first to love and be met with pretense. Think of Jacob, who loved Laban's daughter Rachel and worked years for her, only to face Laban's deceit. Or imagine Hosea, who loved Gomer with a faithful heart, yet she wandered, her love shallow. Even Jesus, who loved his disciples with all he had, was betrayed by Judas, whose kiss masked his true intentions. Dr. Myles Munroe taught that your worth isn't tied to who returns your love, but to the divine purpose God placed in you, a purpose that shines through your genuine heart, no matter who pretends in return. When you love people who only pretend to love you, it's not because you're naive or unworthy. It's because your heart reflects God's love and their pretense reveals their heart, not your value. Your pain is not the end. It's God teaching you to guard your heart and direct it to where it's honored, preparing you for a purpose that glorifies Him. Let's talk about why this happens, why you've poured your heart into those who only offered a facade. Sometimes people pretend to love you because they're driven by their own needs, using your kindness, support, or presence to fill a void, not because they value you. Maybe they're skilled at wearing masks, saying what you want to hear to keep you close while it benefits them. Or perhaps they're incapable of real love, trapped by their own insecurities or selfishness, offering only a shadow of what you give. It could be that you've opened your heart too freely, trusting their words without testing their actions, pouring love into those who haven't earned it. But here's the deeper truth. Sometimes God allows this pretense to show you the treasure of your heart, to teach you discernment, to guide you to relationships and purposes that match the authenticity of your love. Dr. Munroe used to say that your purpose is like a flame meant to light up those who cherish it, not to be smothered by those who only warm themselves for a moment. That's you right now, learning to shine in God's plan, even when others pretend. I know the pain of loving those who only pretend to love you is heavy. It feels like a betrayal, like your heart was played, your love mocked. Maybe you're hurting, replaying their sweet words against their cold actions, wondering how you missed the truth. Or you're angry, tired of being fooled, tempted to stop loving to protect yourself. I felt that ache, my friend, and it's real. But let me speak to your soul. Don't let their pretense steal your light. Their fake love doesn't define your worth. You are not a fool for loving. You are a reflection of God's heart, crafted with a love that's pure, a purpose that's eternal. 1 John 4:7 says, "Let us love one another, for love comes from God." That's you, loving from God's heart, seen by Him. When they pretend, it's not the end. It's God calling you to invest your love where it's met with truth, not deception. Let me share a story to make this vivid. I once knew a woman who loved a friend fiercely. She was there through every tear, every crisis, giving her time, her heart, believing their bond was mutual. But when she needed support, her friend's warmth turned cold, revealing a one-sided connection. The pain was crushing. She felt like her love was a lie, but she took it to God, pouring out her hurt, asking for clarity. In prayer, she felt Him say, "Your love is mine, and it's enough." She started guarding her heart, testing actions over words, and turned her love to mentoring young girls. Those girls cherished her, and true friendships grew that matched her heart. Her old friend tried to reconnect, but she was already shining where love was real. She loved someone who pretended not because she was foolish, but because God was guiding her to a purpose that fit her heart. The pain taught her to trust God's truth, echoing Dr. Munroe's words, "Your worth is in who God made you, not what others pretend to give." That's the power I want you to seize today. You love people who only pretended to love you because your heart is genuine. But their pretense doesn't diminish your worth. It reveals their heart, and God's leading you to where your love is treasured. Their fake love isn't your truth. It's a sign showing you where your heart doesn't belong and pointing you to where it does. Dr. Munroe taught that your love is meant for God's purpose, not for those who deceive. When you stop chasing their empty promises and start walking in God's plan, you become a force, a light that draws the right people, the right moments to you. They might miss your love when it's gone, maybe even regret their pretense, but you'll be too busy thriving in the place God's prepared, your life a testament to his faithfulness. If you're carrying the weight of their deception, feeling like your love was squandered, I need you to hear this. Release that burden. You're not defined by who pretends to love you. You're defined by the God who loves you truly, who sees your heart, who calls you his own. Don't let their lies dim your glow. Maybe you're telling yourself, I'm too trusting, or I'll never find real love. My friend, that's a lie. Your trusting heart is a gift, and God will guide it to those who honor it. You are enough just as you are. God's got a place where your love will be met with sincerity, not pretense, but you got to let go of their deception to step into it. Romans 8:28 says, in all things God works for the good of those who love him. That's God's promise. Your love is working for good, seen by him. Trust that he's guiding you even now, readying you to shine. So how do you move forward? First, root yourself in God's love for you. Stop measuring your worth by their response and start seeing yourself as God's beloved. Spend time in his presence, letting verses like Jeremiah 31:3 fill you. I have loved you with an everlasting love. Tell yourself every day, God's love is real. My heart is his. I'm destined for his purpose. When you're anchored in his love, their pretense loses its sting, and you shine with a strength that comes from knowing you're cherished. Next, guard your heart with discernment. They pretended because you loved without testing their intentions, trusting words over actions. Dr. Munroe taught that stewardship means protecting what God gave you, your heart, your love, your trust. Pray for wisdom to see people's true motives, to know who deserves your love and who's only pretending. Pull back from those whose actions don't match their words and invest in relationships that show consistent care. It's not closing off. It's honoring the treasure you are. Trust that God will bring people whose love is real. When you guard your heart, you reclaim your light, and that discernment lets you shine where you're meant to. Then redirect your love to purpose. Your heart is a gift, but it's meant for God's plan, not for those who deceive. Ask, where does God want my love to shine? Maybe it's a passion you've neglected, a community that needs your care, or a dream waiting to grow. Pour your love into what aligns with God's purpose, what fills your heart as you give. Dr. Munroe said your purpose is where your gifts meet God's call. When you focus there, you build a life that's vibrant, drawing in people and opportunities that love you for you, not for what you provide. Let me speak to those of you who are scared to love again, afraid that opening your heart will only lead to more pretense. I get it. The fear of being fooled again is real when you've been betrayed. But listen, you can't live God's purpose by locking your heart away, loving, serving, chasing your calling. It takes a vulnerable heart, but it's safe in God's hands. Don't let fear keep you from the life he's calling you to. Trust that God is your protector, that he's bringing people who will love you truly, that your worth is secure in him. 1 John 4:18 says, there is no fear in love, but perfect love drives out fear. That's God's love holding you, guiding you. Your purpose is waiting, and you'll find it when you love wisely in faith. Let me share another story to make this clear. I once knew a man who loved a partner deeply. He gave his heart, supported her dreams, believed her promises of forever. But her love was a facade. She left when his support was no longer convenient. He felt shattered, his love mocked. But he took it to God, asking for healing. He started testing actions, not just words, and turned his love to volunteering at a shelter. The people there valued his heart, and true connections grew that matched his sincerity. His ex tried to return, but he was already shining where love was real. He loved someone who pretended because God was guiding him to a purpose that fit his heart. That pain became his strength, proving Dr. Munroe's truth. Your worth is in who God made you, not what others pretend. So I want to ask you, what's the pain of their pretense holding you back from? What dream are you afraid to chase because you fear more deception? What purpose are you pausing because you're waiting for real love? My friend, you don't need their sincerity to shine. You need God's purpose. You need your faith, your courage, your trust in the one who loves you truly. Their pretense hurts, but it can't stop you unless you let it. Get up, guard your heart, and start walking in the destiny God's laid out for you. The world needs your light, and no one's deception can dim what God's designed. Now let's talk about living so vibrantly that their pretense becomes just a whisper in your story. Not to prove them wrong, but to honor God's purpose in you. Live for His glory, not their approval. When they pretend, it's tempting to chase their real love, but that's a trap. Instead, use your heart to serve God's kingdom. Share your gifts, love wisely, pursue your calling with all you've got. When you live for God, your light finds the right hearts, the ones who love you truly. Dr. Munroe said, your purpose is God's priority, not man's deception. Let that drive you. Live with strength, knowing God's with you. Their pretense might shake you, but trust that your heart is enough, that His plan is perfect, that your purpose is secure. Step out boldly even when it's hard. When you carry yourself with the assurance that God loves you, you glow in a way that draws the right people to you. That strength isn't just for you, it's a beacon for others who've been deceived, showing them they can rise too. Live with purpose. Don't let their pretense derail you. Wake up each day asking, God, where do you want my heart today? How can I shine for you? Purpose keeps you steady even when the hurt lingers. When you focus on what God's called you to do, you build a life that's alive, pulling in relationships and opportunities that cherish you. Those who pretended might feel their loss, but you'll be too busy thriving to notice your life shouting God's goodness. To rise above this pain, cultivate what I call God confidence, the deep knowing that your worth comes from the one who loves you, not the ones who pretended. Spend time with Him, let His word fill you. Psalm 86:11 says, teach me your way, Lord, that I may rely on your faithfulness. He's teaching you, loving you always. When you're rooted in that, no pretense can break you. Your light becomes a magnet, drawing those who are meant to share your journey. Practice gratitude too. It's easy to focus on their deception, but gratitude shifts your eyes to God's truth. Thank Him for your heart, for the purpose He's unfolding, for the moments you're loved truly. Thank Him for the lessons, the strength, the doors He's opening. Try this each day. Write down one way God's showing you real love. Maybe it's a genuine connection, a spark of purpose, or a quiet sense of His presence. Gratitude doesn't erase the hurt, but it lifts you above it, turning pretense into a bridge to your destiny. Let me tell you one more story. I once knew a woman who loved a colleague like family. She shared ideas, covered their work, believed their warm words of friendship. But when she needed support, their kindness vanished, revealing a calculated pretense. She felt used, her love discarded. But she took it to God, asking for truth. She guarded her heart, focused on her passion for writing, and started a blog that inspired others. Her readers valued her, and real friendships grew that matched her heart. Her colleague noticed her success, but she was already shining where love was real. She loved someone who pretended because God was guiding her to a purpose that fit her heart. That pain became her launchpad, proving Dr. Munroe's words, your worth is in who God made you to be. Guard God's purpose in you, my friend. Their pretense can feel like a wound, but every moment is God teaching you to protect your light. He's guiding your heart, setting the stage for your purpose. Trust that He's not done. Your job is to keep loving, keep serving, keep shining, even in the hard moments, and celebrate your heart. Don't let their pretense make you hide it. Your love, your sincerity, your strength, they're all part of the light God gave you. Share it wisely, knowing it's enough. You are not defined by those who only pretend to love you. You are defined by the God who loves you with an everlasting love, who sees your heart, who calls you to a purpose that's yours alone. You are radiant, irreplaceable, a vessel of divine destiny. Their pretense is just a lesson, a sign, a nudge to shine wiser. Root yourself in God's love. Guard your heart with discernment. Redirect your light to purpose. Live for His glory with strength and purpose. Lean into His confidence. Stay grateful. Trust His guidance. Celebrate who you are. Do this and you'll live a life so vibrant that their pretense fades into the brilliance of your purpose, glorifying God and inspiring others to trust Him too. Go out there, my friend. Shine like you were made to. Chase your purpose with every ounce of faith you've got. Let their pretense be the spark that lights your greatest chapter. The world's waiting for your heart, and no one's deception can stop God's plan. You've got this, and I'm cheering you every step of the way.